Williamson Herald High School football highlights are sponsored by Moody's Tire and Auto Service with 2 locations to serve you in Williamson County. Moody's Tire, doing it right for over 70 years. Find out more at moody'stire.com. Hello, folks, and welcome to the Williamson Herald High School Football Extra, sponsored by Moody's Tire and Auto. I'd like to thank the 2 locations here in Williamson County for Moody's Tire. Always putting this on. It's nice to have them back again. My name's Charles Foley. I'm joined here by Maurice Patton of MoPattonSports.com. And I tell you what, Mo, it's a busy week.
It is a busy week. And hopefully your fearless leader is resting up for the weekend. What do we got, 10 games?
It's hard to keep track after a kind of, a laid-back week for week 6 where we just had a handful of games in county.
Calm before the storm.
Exactly, exactly. And we're out here at Franklin High School where, the Rebels are going to host Antioch coming in here, a 1-3 team. Mm-hmm. And, gosh, the Rebels, they've been pretty well.
They have done pretty well. They lost that opener, obviously, and we keep talking about it because of the way it took place with the 2 touchdowns in the last 80-something seconds. Lost to Centennial. But I tell you what, that loss looks better and better, or less and less bad, as Centennial continues to win. So, and Franklin hasn't lost since. 4-1, they're 2-0 in Region 3 6A. They've got an Antioch team coming in here that has struggled under a new coach who's an old coach, Mike Woodward. But, Franklin's been taking care of business. Kind of expect them to do that again this weekend. But big weekend for them to just come out of the open week and try to maintain that momentum that they built up going into the break.
Seen some great stuff from the guys out there. We always talk about the big line and, Max Ray, guys like that. But Mitch Rossi has just been something on the ground.
He really has been. He's been a mauler from what I hear. I've not had a chance to see him yet. Hope to do that here before too long. But, that ground game and the 2 quarterbacks, the adage in football is if you've got 2 quarterbacks, you've got no quarterbacks. Well, Franklin's got 2 quarterbacks, Wes Patterson and Carter Hendry, and they've both been really active in the run game. And what happens is with that run game, they suck you up, and they catch you with 9 in the box. And then when they throw it to Alex Gaka or J.P. Batarsa, they usually beat you big. So they've done a good job with their play calling and mixing it up in the run-pass game.
And it seems like one of those quarterbacks is always going to have a decent game. Someone's going to show up really well. That was West in that last win against Ravenwood. That was a big one for Franklin there. Let's scoot down to Independence, where they're going to be hosting a Stewart's Creek team. What do you see from Indy out of this bye week?
Indy, obviously, they're 5-0. They're ranked number 1 in the state in 5A. Stewart's Creek has kind of gotten some things going here of late. They started out kind of sluggish. They've won, I think, their last 3 in a row now. Getting over a quarterback injury, they've really become really ground-oriented on offense with Zach Long over there, their fullback, who's not a big guy but runs really hard and makes a lot of things happen for him offensively. Stewart's Creek trying to stay in the mix, and they're undefeated in region play. So on paper, this is a big one for Indy. On the field, I think Indy takes care of business kind of like they have for the last 20 games that they've played now.
Stewart's Creek coming off a 19-13 win against Antioch, actually.
Right.
So, you talk about Independence. I'm going to pick them until they choose otherwise.
There you go. Yeah, I'm going to have to be wrong once. Yeah. Actually, to be straight up, I picked them to lose to Smyrna a few weeks ago. So, yeah.
We don't have to talk about that. Don't worry about it.
Just truth in lending, that kind of thing.
Another good matchup here is going to be just down the road at Brentwood Academy, where they're hosting that big rivalry game. Got Ensworth coming in, and that's always a fun one.
Absolutely. Brentwood, again, another team coming off an open week this past weekend. 4-1. They've won both their region games. Ensworth with a big win this past weekend over CPA, 43-0. Really dominant performance for them. I think they're starting to get some people back and getting some people healthy that weren't healthy at the start of the season, specifically Nikki Clifton, who's had a couple of big games for them since getting back. So, and like you said, this is always a big matchup when Ensworth and Brentwood Academy get together. So, should be a good one over there.
Back-to-back weeks of Brentwood Academy with those good matchups. They got NBA coming to town next week, so it's hard to keep up with everyone there. A couple teams that we did see in Week 6 were Brentwood and Centennial. Brentwood coming off the win against Northeast, and now they got a West Creek team coming to town.
that Centennial just took care of last weekend. So, yeah, Brentwood starting to maybe pull some things back together. Had a little bit of a lull there. They dropped a couple that you wouldn't necessarily have expected them to drop, but big win last weekend, like you said, against Northeast.
And Centennial, they're going to go to Clarksville, so they got that little road trip to make up north.
Yeah, and coming off of a 37-0 win against West Creek for homecoming last week, so things went well for them. Cougars 5-1, they're undefeated in region play. Clarksville just lost to Henry County pretty big last weekend. So again, Centennial, another team looking to go on the road and maintain some momentum. They went to Northeast a couple of weeks ago, 1-1, so they're hoping that the trip up the trip back down I-24 will be another happy one for them.
Yes, and we were both at that one too, and that was Jerry L. Wilson's coming out party for sure.
Whoa.
Yeah. The big game that kind of dominated conversation in Week 6 was Page at Battleground Academy, and this was a Patriots team that just blew the Wildcats out of the water, and now they're going to Tullahoma.
Yeah, did not expect that matchup to go the way it did. It sounds like Page just dominated it from start to finish. The freshman running back, Bubba Johnson, with a big night, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns. So they'll be, again, looking to maintain that momentum, going to a winless Tullahoma team that's 0-6 overall, 0-2 in Region 4-4A. Page looking to stay undefeated in region play. So another big road game for them, even against a winless team, because you don't want to go in and be the team that they get things right against, that's for sure.
The Patriots dominant on the ground there. Jacob Van Landingham, their quarterback, he actually rushed for 2 scores. I mean, it was all Page. BGA on the road as well. They're going to have to lick their wounds quickly because they're traveling to Davidson Academy.
And that's a big region game for them, and they've lost their last 2 now. They lost out at University School of Jackson, 52-45, and then they lost this one here. And I would imagine that the Wildcats' concerns right now are only scoring 7 points against Page. Again, coming off that 45-point performance the week before. So they've got some things that they're going to want to take a look at on both sides of the ball. And Davidson's going to present some problems for him, starting up front with the big kid, Obena Eze, the Memphis commitment at offensive tackle, like 6'7", 280. So
yeah, you can't miss him.
No, you can't. You won't miss him. He's number 77. But you'll figure it out if you go to the game. He'll be the biggest thing out there.
Coming off that bye week, the Ravenwood Raptors dropped that big county clash with Franklin 2 weeks ago, and now they're traveling to McGavock.
Yeah, and McGavock is a team that can cause you some problems just with their athleticism, but they've really struggled this year. And Ravenwood, like you said, coming off the bye week, looking to continue to push in that region. There's some odd things have taken place in that region. It's not a game that we would talk a whole lot about, but Mount Juliet beating Wilson Central last week in overtime when everybody thought it was Franklin and Wilson Central, and then everybody else kind of threw things up for grabs there a little bit, I think. So Ravenwood's got an opportunity to kind of sneak back in there. They beat Mount Juliet earlier in the year. They've still got Wilson Central to play, but they need a win this week against McGavock.
Speaking of wanting and needing wins there, the Summit team, Summit's going to be traveling to Laverne, and I go back to the Summit Independence clash there. Everyone kind of hyped that one up as a great matchup, and it ended up being pretty one-sided.
Well, I think that was more how good Independence is than to take anything negative out of it as far as Summit goes. I still think that this is a team that can do some damage, but again, this is a game that they need to win against a Laverne team that hasn't been what we expected it to be coming into the year with the 2 UT commitments and Princeton Fant and Malik Gray. Fant's only played like a game and a half, I think. I think he's out for the rest of the year. Didn't play last year because of a knee, and apparently that knee wasn't coming along quite the way folks thought it should be, so he's resting that up to get ready for his collegiate career. But Laverne has really struggled. 1-5 overall, 1-2, 1-3 in region play. So this is a game that Summit can go and get on the road and stay in the top half of that region.
Exactly. One game we got to see in Week 6 was GCA finally getting that breakthrough win, knocking off Richland in commanding fashion.
And great for them. You know, this was a team that had kind of knocked on the door against Moore County, knocked on the door against Cornersville, had some things that just didn't quite go their way. They finally got one, and their reward is a Columbia Academy team that's undefeated at 4-0. All of those in region play. They're ranked like 6th or 7th in the state in Class 1A, and it doesn't get any easier for Rusty Smith and the bunch out there.
You got to hope that win, you can carry some of the things over. They had some great plays on special teams, running back touchdowns, an interception for a touchdown, but they're facing a veteran club in Columbia Academy for sure.
Absolutely, and a club that can put some points up. They and Fayetteville played last weekend. It was 7-0 at the half. 34-32 Columbia Academy final. 59 points between them in the second half. So again, the Bulldogs can throw up a lot of points in a hurry, and that's kind of what the Lions have got to kind of guard against is, locking things down to the extent possible and taking advantage of their opportunities offensively.
Well, of course, this is another busy week for us here as we got just about every team in county in action, and it's a loaded slate for sure. Going into next week, we have Brentwood, Centennial, and Page all taking a bye week, but it's a short week because we're going to have several Thursday games as well. So this one's, wow, brace yourselves, right?
Oh, no doubt. Get your sleep because it's going to be a long one.
Well, this is Maurice Patton. I'm Charles Pulliam. We thank you for joining us here on the Williamson Herald High School Sports Football Extra. It's been a blast. We hope Joe Williams will join us next time as well, too, which puts me back behind the camera. We like that, but until then, follow.
You like that? We kind of like you out here. I kind of liked it when the three of us were out here.
That was actually really nice too.
Yeah.
We put Joe in the middle. We kind of go from side to side. That's not bad.
Yeah,
I could do that again. Maybe next week. Maybe if we
can get everybody here.
Sounds great. Until then, follow us on Twitter, @MoPatton_sports. At least I can get that right. I'm at CS Pulliam, at WH Sports as well. We'll have everything for you on Friday night. Be sure to check us out online at WilliamsonHerald.com. Thanks for watching.